It is up, everyone. This is Captain Eon speaking, and I'm doing so as a reminder with the hopes that by sharing my daily journey, it would serve to edify the body of Christ. You ever notice the thing about patterns? One thing I've seen is, while the frequency of different patterns may change, there's always a reoccurring theme. In other words, the order of things is what tends to be picked up on, at least for me. Today's treatment actually reminds me of this because it revealed another such occurrence, a reoccurring theme, in God's pattern that I did not realize before today, and I'm grateful for, because I'm seeing the consistency of God. And what I'm speaking of is specifically what God said about Ahab in chapter 21, verse 29. When he speaks to Elijah and says, I quote, "Have you seen how Ahab has humbled himself before me? Because he has humbled himself before me, I will not bring the disaster in his days. But in his son's days, I will bring the disaster upon his house." And that was interesting to me, because as the whole story was playing out, from the beginning where Ahab, had this dilemma where he wanted something that wasn't his and he couldn't get it. And from the deception that led to an ultimate murder that led to him receiving this thing, to the subsequent penalty or judgment passed down by God for this unrighteous, iniquitous act. I saw these similarities with the same sort of thing with David prior. The pattern, it was the same pattern. I at least saw how David wanted something that was someone else's, then set out to plot and scheme, which ultimately ended in murder, to get this sought after, what he sought after. I was hesitant to call Bathsheba a thing, but he eventually got what he sought after, only to have judgment passed down by God himself. But in both cases, I'm realizing that the common theme is God's response to the contrite heart. Here which takes humility to get to that place. Further on, God talks about how he resists the proud, but he draws close to the humble, and I'm paraphrasing there. But that his response, and all through it talks about how, when he came to earth, he humbled himself unto death. These sorts of things, where there's something about humility that God hears. I'm going to go as far as to say that when speaking God's language of love, humility is the proper way to enunciate. Caption this. In all humility,